There is a credit available right now that thousands of Canadian seniors are simply leaving on the table. The Canada Revenue Agency has confirmed that eligible homeowners can receive up to $7,500 through the Multigenerational Home Renovation Tax Credit, and the 2026 filing window is open right now. If you completed a renovation to create a secondary suite for a senior or adult with a disability in your home, this money may already belong to you. My name is Joseph, and welcome to Canada Pension Guide, the channel dedicated to making sure you never miss a dollar of what you have earned. Before we go any further, I want to be clear about something. This is not a rumor. This is not a workaround. This is a fully verified, CRA-administered refundable tax credit that came into effect for the 2023 tax year and continues into 2026. And yet, according to tax professionals across the country, the majority of eligible Canadians have never even heard of it. Now, here is where it gets important. A lot of viewers will watch this video and think, I probably don't qualify, and that assumption is costing them thousands of dollars. What many retirees often overlook is a very specific detail buried in the eligibility criteria, and it has to do with who actually owns the home and how the qualifying individual is defined under CRA guidelines. We are going to walk through that in detail in just a moment, because getting that definition wrong is the #1 reason eligible families miss this credit entirely. Stay with me on this one. Let's start from the beginning, because I want to make sure everyone watching fully understands what this credit actually is. The Multigenerational Home Renovation Tax Credit, sometimes called the MHRTC, was introduced by the federal government to help Canadian families renovate their homes to create a self-contained secondary unit. The purpose is to allow a senior age 65 or older, or an adult with a qualifying disability, to live with a family member rather than moving into a care facility. The credit allows eligible claimants to receive 15% of up to $50,000 in qualifying renovation costs. That works out to a maximum of $7,500 back in your pocket. And because it is a refundable credit, it can reduce your taxes owing and, in some cases, generate a direct refund even if you owe nothing. Now let's talk about who may be eligible, because this is where the details matter enormously. To claim this credit, a qualifying renovation must be completed. That means the work must create a new self-contained secondary unit within the existing home. The unit must have its own private entrance, a kitchen or cooking area, a bathroom, and a sleeping area. It does not need to be completely separate from the main home, but it must function as an independent living space. The qualifying individual, meaning the senior or person with a disability, must be either the homeowner or related to the homeowner. This includes parents, grandparents, siblings, children, aunts, uncles, and even nieces and nephews. The CRA uses a specific definition of eligible relation, and it is broader than most people realize. Here's the detail I mentioned earlier, the one that trips people up. Many families assume that the senior must be the one who owns the home. That is not correct. The credit can be claimed by an eligible relation who owns or jointly owns the property, as long as the qualifying individual, the senior or person with a disability, ordinarily resides or intends to ordinarily reside in that secondary unit. This means an adult child who owns a home and builds a suite for their parent or grandparent may be eligible to claim this credit. That one clarification alone opens the door for tens of thousands of additional families who may not have realized they qualify. The renovation must be completed by a qualifying contractor, and all receipts must be retained. Costs that may qualify include construction, renovations, alterations, and the purchase of certain equipment installed as part of the renovation. Costs that do not qualify include furniture, appliances that are not permanently affixed, financing costs, and any work that was already eligible for another tax credit. It is also important to note that the renovation must have been completed in the tax year you are filing for. If your renovation was completed in 2025, You would claim it on your 2025 return, filed in the spring of 2026. If it was completed in 2024, you may still have options, but you will want to speak with a tax professional about your specific situation, as eligibility and timelines are subject to CRA review and approval. Now I want to pause here for a moment, because I genuinely want to hear from this community. I'd like to hear from you. Which province are you filing from, and have rising construction and renovation costs affected your ability to make these kinds of home upgrades? Comment your province and your thoughts below. Your experience helps other viewers in this community, and it helps me understand exactly what topics to cover next. Let's talk about how this credit fits into the broader picture for seniors who may also be receiving CPP, OAS, or GIS benefits. The Multigenerational Home Renovation Tax Credit does not affect your old age security payments. It does not affect your Canada Pension Plan income, and it does not affect your eligibility for the Guaranteed Income Supplement. These are separate programs administered under different frameworks, and claiming this renovation credit will not trigger a clawback of your pension benefits. That is an important distinction, and one that causes a lot of unnecessary anxiety for retirees who are cautious, rightfully so, about anything that might reduce their monthly income. However, if you are supporting a senior parent and helping them access this credit, it is always wise to review your full household income picture before filing. Some provincial benefit programs do have their own income testing rules, and what qualifies at the federal level may interact differently depending on where you live. When in doubt, a registered tax professional or a CRA agent can walk you through your specific file. Now let's get to your action steps, because this is where knowledge becomes money. Step 1. Determine your eligibility before the filing deadline. Log into your My CRA account at canada.ca, review your property ownership status, and confirm whether a qualifying renovation was completed in the relevant tax year. If you are unsure whether your renovation meets the definition of a self-contained secondary unit, the CRA website provides a detailed checklist, and I will walk through that checklist in a dedicated video very soon. Step 2. Gather your documentation. You will need your renovation receipts, contractor invoices, and any permits issued by your municipality. The CRA may request these as part of a review, and having them organized in advance protects your claim. Keep everything, even invoices that seem minor. Some homeowners have left money on the table simply because they discarded receipts they assumed were not relevant. Step 3. Claim the credit on your T1 general return using the appropriate schedule. If you use tax software, look for the Multigenerational Home Renovation Tax Credit section. If you file with a tax preparer, bring your documentation and specifically mention this credit by name. Do not assume they will automatically identify it for you. Asking the right questions is part of protecting your own file. Here is what I want you to take away from today. The Canadian tax system is complex. The programs available to seniors and their families are numerous, and the rules change year over year. That complexity is not your fault, and it is not something you should have to navigate alone. But it is something you can navigate with the right information, delivered clearly, and updated regularly. $7,500 is not a small amount. For many families, it represents months of groceries, a season of heating costs, or simply the peace of mind that comes from knowing your loved one is safe, comfortable, and close to home. You earned that peace of mind, and you deserve to know about every legitimate credit and benefit that exists to support it. If this video helped you today, I want to invite you to become part of the Canada Pension Guide community. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss an update on CPP, OAS, GIS, or any of the programs that affect your retirement income. Every week, we break down exactly this kind of information clearly, calmly, and always with your best interests at the center. This is Joseph, reminding you that your retirement is not just a phase of life, it is something you built. And we are here to make sure you protect every part of it.